If you allow a lack of discipline to infect one area of your life, it will creep everywhere. The slide, the slip. As soon as you allow yourself to negotiate with yourself, it will continue to creep and take more and more and more. You have to cut it off. You have to say, no, today is a new day. I'm going to battle myself today. I'm going to push myself to the limit today. I don't care about what happened yesterday. I don't care that I had a massive win yesterday. I have to battle myself and prove to myself today who I am. Hey, what's up? I'm going to do a live podcast here, but this is a really important topic. A lot of people are asking me about it. In our group, a lot of us are talking about it. So I want to address it, and I thought this is a great podcast topic. We're talking about the slip, the slide. Someone applied to our program yesterday, and they said, I was reading through their application, and they said, I need to stop the slide. I need to stop the steady slip of my personal standards and negotiations. And man, did I resonate with that. And many, many guys in my program have resonated with that and are there right now. You know, whenever you come in, that's where you start. You start at that point of not liking where you are and understanding you have growth to make, but saying, I need to make a massive change in my life right now. And if that is you, that is okay. A lot of us were there. That's exactly where I was. That's exactly where a lot of guys are, is the slide. So what happens is many of us used to be disciplined. We used to be in great shape. We used to keep our promises to ourselves, and we felt like a disciplined savage. You know, you felt on fire. That was me when I was 21 years old, living with my roommate in Salem, Ohio, teaching, making nothing, making $25,000 a year. But I was doing P90X at 5 a.m. in the morning. I had an 8-pack. I was shredded. I was ripped. I would work. Then I would come home from school, and I would run another 7-8 miles. I felt on fire on top of the road. I didn't care that I was broke and making no money. I just knew that I had an unbelievable life ahead of me. I felt so good about myself. The man I was made me confident and feel really good. So that was when I was 21 years old. Then got married, had kids, and somehow, and we're going to talk about why this happens, somehow all of those little personal standards started to slip. Now, why does that happen? Like, what happens that causes our standards to slip and our discipline to slip, which makes our health worse, which makes our relationships worse? You can still make more money. You can still advance in your career purely by being there, by going up the salary scale, by learning some skills, and by making relationships with people. So you can still become successful in your career, but could you have been more successful if you maintained your discipline and were, on fire and confident? So I know the answer is yes, especially if you're in sales, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader of any sort. You know that who you are as a person determines everything. So why do we slip? I was 21, I was ripped, I was disciplined, I was on top of the world, I was on fire, and then years passed and I couldn't get it back. When I post those before pictures on my Instagram account all the time, those are different points over the last decade. It's not all 1 year. Because I went up and down on a roller coaster. Sometimes in there I got decently in shape, and then I would get out of shape again. I got decently in shape, and then out of shape again. It was always the same thing. It was always a roller coaster. I'd get motivated, do it, then I'd get complacent and sabotage myself. And only now do I understand why. And that is when I came up with identity hacking and the Men of Fire coaching program, that we now take the guys through the process. Now they can keep it off, and they can change their lives forever by using the same realization that I did. So whenever you slip, you can gain weight, right? You can start eating a lot more. A guy joined us just yesterday, leader in his business, and he coaches leaders, but he said, I need someone to push me to be my best. So he's with us now as well. And he said, I just like eating. I just like eating food. So that can happen. I remember taking little containers of meal prepped food to school in the morning and being okay with that. I have a specific memory of sitting in my coworker's office with a little Tupperware container of broccoli and cold chicken, nasty food. He was eating whatever, fast food next to me. And I was eating this thing with a plastic fork, and he said to me, "What are you eating?" And I was just sitting there with a smile on my face. I didn't care. I had no comparison. I didn't care that he didn't like what I was eating. I felt so good about the person that I was because of my discipline. But I lost that. And then over the next years, I kept on eating. And when I got stressed, I would eat. It also happens with alcohol. A lot of guys join us to stop their problems with alcohol. You can start to slip with your consumption of alcohol. Like you drink a little bit, and then before you know it, you're drinking multiple glasses a night, or that could turn into 5 a night. I've talked to many people who have a serious issue with that, and it doesn't start that way. It is a slow drip. It's a slow slide. Also with your relationships. I'm sure all of us remember when we first got married and first started dating, you were passionately in love. You were going out on lots of dates. You were writing each other letters and flirting. And a common thought is, yeah, well, that just happens. It just happens because most people do it. You decide whether you're going to be like most people or whether you're going to be intentional with your marriage and your relationships with your kids. In our program, for example, we have daily checklists and daily accountability for how we're showing up as a husband and father. So we do that so we're not like most people. You join us, you're not like most people. Most people are okay with the slide. It's like, oh, well, I'm middle-aged. I'm 40 years old, so of course I'm going to have a gut. Of course I'm going to have a dad bod. Of course me and my wife are going to have sex once every 2 months, and we're not going to go on dates. That's what happens. You start out in love, and then you're not. That is the key behind all of this. That is what I'm describing to you right now. That is the self-speech. That is the way people talk to themselves, and that is the key and the impetus for the slide. It's all identity. It's your mindset. It's what you believe is true. If you believe that it is normal for you to slide into old age, then you're going to do that. You're going to live up to the identity you have about yourself. And that was the key that changed everything for me. It was understanding that identity rules all. How I see myself will determine my reality and my outcomes forever. If I believe I'm a disciplined person, I will act that out. If I believe I'm somebody who breaks promises to himself, I will act that out. If I think I'm going to quit at the last minute, I'll act that out. Then you have to reverse the process and change your identity. That's what we call identity hacking. We do that by replacing your habits. We do that by creating systems. We do that by shifting your perspective. I'm going to take you through all those things on this podcast. But I was the guy that joined us yesterday, since it's at the top of my head, talked about this a lot. He said, yeah, I feel like I'm the kind of guy who breaks promises to himself a lot of the times. I said, yeah, I was there too. I also felt like I broke promises to myself many, many times. And that's okay. Why is it okay? Because you can change it. It's okay because you can change it. You do not have to accept the same reality as most people. Most people are okay having substandard relationships, not actively working on it. Most people will check their Robinhood crypto account 20 times a day, but won't check in on their wife 20 times a day to say, how are you doing? I love you, and flirting and being passionate with them. Most people will obsess over systems to make themselves more successful in their career, but they won't do the same thing to make themselves more successful as a husband and as a father, or in personal development. So most people's mindset and perspective is the slip is normal. What's the first way you can combat that is tell yourself it's not okay. So you identify that you are slipping, and then you say, no, that's not okay. As you get older, you have a lot more responsibilities, you have a lot more stress, you have a lot more people counting on you, and you have less time, less natural energy, so you have to work harder. You have to either accept in your head that that is the way it's going to be, or you have to tell yourself, no, I have to push this boulder uphill if I want to reach the top of the mountain now. Most people allow the boulder to crush them and push them down. So yes, it absolutely gets harder as you get older. I was at the gym this morning. I got to the gym around, I don't know, 5-something a.m. There were a lot of people my age there, people that are younger than me, but there were also people there who were in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. 5 a.m., working out, pushing themselves to the limit. So they have decided they're not going to slide, and they're going to combat and battle the slide every single day. Went to hot yoga today. There were people my age. There was a lady there who was in her 60s, and right next to me there was a guy who looked like he could have been 60s or 70s. He was testing himself. He was pushing himself to the limit. He said, "No, I do not want to stiffen up and be a brick. I need to work on this right now." So his mindset and perspective was, I will not accept that. So yes, it is reality that it will get harder as you get older. You can either accept that, or you can say, I'm not going to allow that to define me. That's my new thing now. I want to get mobile, stretchy, and jacked and ripped. All of it. So I want to do all of it. I don't want to be a stiff bodybuilder kind of guy, and I also don't want to be a skinny yoga kind of guy. I want to do all of it. So the things that slip whenever you start to slip: alcohol. You can find yourself slowly drinking more alcohol. You can find yourself slowly eating food, not just to fuel your body and at times whenever you're enjoying yourself, but you can find yourself emotionally eating more and more, to the point where anytime you get stressed or you're seeking comfort, you're eating. You could also find to happen to your marriage, like I said. You can also find the relationship with your kids start to slip, where you used to, when your kids were very young, you used to tuck them in every night, you used to read them stories, you used to go on walks with them, but now they're getting older, and you can't remember the last time you read your kid a bedtime story, or you can't remember the last time your daughter ran up to you and sat on your lap, or you can't remember the last time you took them on a walk individually. Relationships also slip. Also, your wake-up time can start to slip. Your bedtime routine can start to slip. Maybe you were a 5 a.m. kind of guy every day, and now all of a sudden you're a 7 a.m. kind of guy, and it just keeps on creeping and creeping and creeping. Here's what happens. A crack in one area infects every other area. It is not isolated. It is not isolated. If you allow a lack of discipline to infect one area of your life, it will creep everywhere. It's called the creep, the slide, the slip. As soon as you allow yourself to negotiate with yourself, it will continue to creep and take more and more and more. You have to cut it off. You have to say, no, today is a new day. I'm going to battle myself today. I'm going to push myself to the limit today. I don't care about what happened yesterday. I don't care that I had a massive win yesterday. I have to battle myself and prove to myself today who I am. Where I used to sabotage myself is this right here, what I'm describing to you. It is, I would get super ripped and disciplined, and then that would be the win for me. So because I had that win, I would stop pushing the gas, and I would let my standards go because I thought I deserved a break. Then weeks or months would pass, and in that time when I was deserving the break, I would change as a person. My identity would change. You can't give yourself a month-long break from your discipline and then hop right back up and be the same person you are. During that elapsed time, you have changed as a person. You are existing in that time. You are giving yourself less stringent standards during that time. That is a typical way people sabotage themselves. Is I have a win, so now I'm going to do nothing. During that time you're doing nothing, you are the person who's doing nothing. The best way to go about it is continue your routines, continue pushing yourself every single day. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter. A negotiation in one spot is a wedge, and it slowly pushes your discipline away, it pushes your standards away, it pushes your relationships away. I guarantee if you start pushing back your wake-up time, you're going to find every other area of your life start to slip as well. It's not isolated in one bubble. It happens as we get busy. That's some of the excuses we always give ourselves. I can't do this thing that's holding me together because I'm getting busy. Or we get more responsibility. That's what I did. When I was living with a roommate with no wife or kids, one job that I got home at 3:30 for, I could do it. But whenever I took more responsibility on, as adults do as they get older, that was my excuse. I could have still woken up early and worked out. Having more responsibility doesn't mean I need to drink more alcohol or put more food in my mouth. But nevertheless, that is the excuse we always give ourselves. And then we buy that lie because it feels good going down. We say, well, I'm too busy, or I'm too stressed, or I'm getting promoted, or I'm moving, or finances are tight, blah, blah, blah. And that feels good to ourselves, and we know it's all bullshit because we've pushed through those obstacles before. And I believe those lies because believing those lies is easier than looking yourself in the mirror and saying, no, right now you just don't have what it takes. You've changed. You're not the same man you were. You're a weaker man than the man you were before. So it's easier to believe the lie that we tell ourselves than having that realization. A lot of us do that. I'll have guys, this is always an interesting thing. Many, many people reach out to me every day. And some of them come on calls with me. Others, it's obviously not going to work out. I'll always have this type of person that says, hey, I want to be part of your program. And if you want to be part of a mastermind program of self-improvement, there needs to be a place to improve. Even Michael Jordan in his prime still practiced hours and hours a day because he knew he was not what he wanted to be. But I'll have a guy message me. I'll check out his profile. He's obese, and he'll say, I want to join your program. I say, okay, where do you need to improve? He'll say, nah, I'm really fit. I'm crushing my relationships. I'm crushing my job. And just leave it at that. So I'll say, okay, well, why do you want to join us? I'm like, I'm not sure. So I'll say, are you really crushing everywhere? It's like, yeah, man, I'm in the best shape of my life. And some people feel okay lying to themselves because the reality of where your life is so painful and biting, and it just you can cut your soul out of how did I allow myself to get to this point? And it happens day after day, negotiation after negotiation, snooze button by snooze button, extra drink by extra drink, year after year. You slowly turn into somebody who you don't recognize anymore. And then you wake up one day and you have a decision to make. The decision is, do I do something about this right now and change the rest of my life? Or do I accept the slide and say this is the way it is? Or do I continue to lie to myself and just not step on the scale, not listen to your wife when she says things are in a really bad place, not listen to your kids when they say, Dad, why don't you play with me anymore? You're always sitting on the couch, and you just stare at your phone and ignore reality. You can also choose to live life like that, like in the Matrix, just plugged in, except your reality is happening in front of you, and you're choosing to ignore it. That can also happen. We allow our discipline and standards to slide as we get busy, as we have more responsibility, and just as we take on more leadership roles, which we asked for. But many times that is our excuse, that is our reason for not keeping the one thing that holds it all together primed, which is who we are as a person. It's us. Our personal standards slip as we try to control everything that can't be controlled. Then the one thing we try to control is now out of control. Then we live in chaos. I'm going to read that last quote again. Our personal standards slip as we try to control everything that can't be controlled. Then the one thing we can control is now out of control. Then we live in chaos. So that means your job gets busy, right? Your job gets busy. You have a big sales goal. Your boss is coming down on you. That's your job getting busy. Life gets busy. You start to have kids. Your wife is pregnant. You have house repairs that need to be made. All kind of things. So because of life getting busy or the job getting busy, we say, I need to stop going to the gym. I need to stop tracking what I eat. I need to stop waking up on time. I need to stop my morning routine. I need to stop all these things. When those are the things that are keeping you a well-oiled machine to deal with everything. That's like saying, I need to go on this cross-country road trip, so I'm not going to oil my car. That's the same logic. You see chaos and more responsibility in your future. So the things we do sometimes is we say, well, because of all that coming up, I need to stop doing these things and only focus on that. And when you do that, you're only focusing on external chaos that you cannot control. You can control to a point what happens at work, with sales, with business, all of those things. You can control to a point what happens with your family. But what is the one thing in the world you have total control of? It's you. It's who you are. It is what you do with your body. It's what you do with your discipline, your mind, meditating, journaling, reading books to improve your mindset. That is the only thing in the world you can control. If you want to get up in the morning, you get up, you do your morning routine, you read, you work out, you go to the gym. That is the thing you can control. And whenever we say, life is getting crazy, so I'm going to stop doing all those things and only focus on this one thing I can't control, the one thing we did control turns to chaos. It slips, it slides, and now the one thing we could control is completely out of control. Your discipline, your mindset, your stress, your emotional, your eating habits. You can't move anymore. You're getting injured more now. You're going to the doctors more now because you said, I'm only going to focus on external and not internal. You neglected yourself, and now because you stopped your disciplines, everything has gone to chaos. So now everything is out of control. You are out of control, and the things that you are trying to control are still out of control. That is how you turn into a spiral of chaos. And many guys find themselves there. Many people find themselves there. It is life gets busier. Life puts more demands on you. So in order to address those demands, you stop taking care of yourself. Then yourself then disintegrates and rots and is incapable of dealing with anything. So then you try to deal with the thing that you were focusing on with a lesser version of yourself because you allowed yourself to slip and slide. That is the chaos spiral that we find ourselves in. Here's the prescription then. As you find yourself in times of life that have more responsibility, more demands on you, and you have more leadership roles, that is double down on you time. It is, I need to drive further with my car, so I need to put better gasoline, better oil. I need to take better care of my car. This is not the time to neglect the machine that is going to take me to my destination. It is not that time. If you have a massive job to do, you need the best possible tools. You are the tool. You are the thing that interacts with every other thing. You must take care of yourself. You must build yourself first so that every other thing you come in contact with gets the best possible result. Your wife gets the best you. Your kids get the best you. If you are somebody who says, I have no time to go to the gym, I have no time to meal prep food because I spend all of my time with my kids, and you are now 70, 80 pounds overweight, you have no energy, you're moody and stressed and frustrated and emotional because of the person you've turned into, is that a good prescription? Is that a good thing to do? Or what if you said, I am going to spend an hour a day, maybe sacrifice my wake-up time and wake up earlier, and I'm going to make sure I am in great physical shape. I'm going to spend some time on Sunday and meal prep food. I'm going to eat healthy, not drink so much alcohol, and then you get in the best shape of your life. You're the most energetic you've ever been with your kids. You're the most present you've ever been with them, and your kids are now inspired by you. Which is better? I don't have time to work on myself because of my family line is one of those lies that people tell themselves because that is easier than going to the gym. That is something that feels good going down, but is far worse than you taking care of yourself? Do you think your children want you to live longer? Do you think your children want you to be healthy, happy, and confident? Do you want to give your children healthy habits? Yes, those all far outweigh that line. And really that line is total BS because you can just get up earlier. You can just get up earlier and work out before they wake up, like every guy in my program does. So be aware of what you are telling yourself. As more chaos comes, that is the time to double down on your standards, your routines, and not give them up. Do not throw away the one thing that's holding you together. You are the machine. You need it well oiled. You need to take it to the mechanic. You need to take care of your car. A car that is neglected falls apart. It rusts. You can't use it. You need a well-oiled machine so you can inspire your children, your colleagues, your employees, so you can be the man your wife wants and needs from you. So you must be that and take care of yourself. So here's what you do. You focus on the basics, just the basics. That's all it is. I'm going to set a wake-up time, and I'm going to hit my wake-up time. I am going to go to the gym in the morning. Okay, go to the gym. Hit your wake-up time, go to the gym. I'm going to stick to a diet. I don't care what diet it is. I'm going to find a nutrition plan and just be consistent with it. Don't spend weeks procrastinating trying to find the perfect one. None of that matters. Just stick to it and be consistent. I'm going to do something that elevates my mind every day. I'm going to listen to the Rising Father podcast. I'm going to read books. I'm going to join a group and get coached by people. I'm going to join a group of people who fill my head with wisdom and passion. I'm going to find people at work who actually elevate me and don't pull me down. Every day, find things that elevate who you are. I'm going to start journaling every day. Journaling is huge in our program. Get your thoughts out on paper and see who is living inside of you. That's what journaling is. Put your head down, do the basics, and challenge yourself every morning. Say, I don't feel challenged. Okay, then I'm going to take a cold shower. I'm going to do a cold plunge. I'm going to do a 5-minute plank today. And you will get your fire back. You will find the slip won't be slipping anymore. It'll turn into a climb. But if you want to climb, that means you're going to work harder. The only way a slip stops and you go the other direction is if you climb. It means you have to put forth effort. It means you need to work to be that person. But with the work comes amazing peace, fulfillment, and a new perspective. Once you reach the top of the mountain, you have a new perspective on life. You have a new identity that no longer is stressed, frustrated, fearful, doubtful, depressed. You feel confident and powerful. Would you rather work hard, feel confident and powerful at what you accomplished, or feel weak and do nothing? That is the prescription. Reality is going to happen no matter what. These external circumstances are going to happen no matter what. The weather's going to happen no matter what. You need to control the one thing you can control, and that is you. You need to build the one thing you can control, and that is you. If you become the absolute best you can be, all these other uncontrollable situations in your life will be more controlled and will get a better outcome because you are better. That's what I tell every guy that I work with is, okay, this challenge is coming up, this obstacle is coming up. Here's the perspective shift we have to have, and that is, I am going to become more to deal with this. I'm going to become more to deal with this. The obstacle and resistance that's coming is a lesson given to me to become more. You can choose to have that perspective, or you can say, woe is me. And some people's obstacles and resistances are massive and require a ton from them. But every obstacle that comes your way, if you have the attitude, this was given to me for the lesson I will learn on the other side of it. If you do that, then every single failure, mistake, and obstacle that comes to you is an opportunity for you to grow. All right, guys, that's it. This will be a podcast. I'll edit out all the comments and all the Instagram live stuff. See ya.